Your brain asks the questions, but you choose the game. What if the biggest misunderstanding of your life is that you think you are the character in the story, but you're not? You're the player. And the moment you see that, life stops feeling like a problem and starts feeling like a game. This idea affects everything: how you handle stress, how you respond to failure, how you make decisions, how you see yourself. People think life is happening to them. However, if you understand what's actually happening, you'll realize something very different. You're not just living the story, you're playing it. By this end of this video, I'm going to show you the shift that changes everything. In the last episode, we talked about something powerful. Your brain is constantly asking questions. Your mind asks things like, why am I like this? Why does this always happen to me? How do I fix this? And the brain is a question answering machine. It will always produce answers. And here's the deeper question most people never ask: who is asking the question? And that's where things get interesting. People believe they are the character, the identity, the personality, the history, the job, the problems. If something goes wrong at work, the character says, why does this always happen to me? The character feels attacked. The character feels unlucky. The character feels stuck. And something strange is happening here. The character isn't actually asking the question. The brain is. And someone else is observing it. You've experienced this before. You've had moments where you watch your own thoughts. You notice yourself getting angry. You notice yourself worrying. You notice yourself reacting. And suddenly you realize something. There's a part of you watching the character. That's awareness. That's the observer. And here's the twist most people miss. The observer is still not the highest level. Because there is one level higher. And this level changes how you see your entire life. Think about a video game. There's a character on the screen. That character has a story. That character faces enemies. That character solves problems. And that character isn't actually in control. The player is. The player chooses the direction. The player chooses the strategy. The player chooses the game itself. And here's a strange realization. Your life works the same way. Do you feel more like the character in your life or the player behind it? Let me know below. Type character or player. I'm curious to see. Let me give you a real example. Imagine two people lose their job. The character says, "This is terrible. This shouldn't be happening. I'm ruined." And the player asks a different question. What game am I playing right now? And that question changes everything, because suddenly the event is not the end of the story. It's just a level in the game. Same event, different perspective, different outcome. Maybe the player goes, maybe this is leading me to a new job. Maybe this is putting me on my path. I'm not stuck here. You don't just control the character. You control the questions the character asks. And remember what we said in episode 16. Your brain is a question answering machine. So if the player changes the question, the entire game changes. People ask survival questions. Why am I stuck? Why does this life feel hard? Why does this always happen? And the brain will answer them. However, the player asks different questions. What skill is this moment training? What opportunity is hidden here? What kind of character am I becoming? Same brain, different question, different answers, different life. Now we go one level deeper. If you are the player, You are not stuck with the character. You can design the character. Most people treat identity like a prison. I'm just like this. I'm not good at that. That's not who I am. However, the player knows something powerful. Characters evolve, characters train, characters level up, and suddenly identity becomes something else, a design project. Here's the most fascinating part of this entire system, and it's the part that connects the Hitchhiker's Guide idea that 42 is the answer. In the story of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the supercomputer spends millions of years calculating the answer to life and everything, and the answer is 42. But nobody knows the question. But that's the joke. And it's also a psychological truth because life doesn't give you the question. The player chooses it. The brain asks the question and you choose the game. People live their life as a character, reacting, complaining, trying to survive the story. But awareness reveals something shocking. You're not just the character. You're not just the observer. You're also the player. And players don't panic. Players experiment. Players adapt. Players learn the rules of the game. And once you see that, life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you play, something that's happening for you. The moment you realize you're the player, life stops being a problem and becomes the game. Enjoy this game with love and peace and wisdom and understanding. Enjoy this day. Enjoy the game.